digging that. That person's not gonna mind soon.
God, actually, that's like one of the best scenes in Goodfellas is when they're playing cards.
But yeah,
And they're playing cards
yeah.
and
You mean when Pecci?
what's it, Spider, Spider, the bartender is
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, how about you go fuck yourself, and then they're like, whoa,
They balled
oh,
on this guy.
oh, look at that. Here, Spider, that's for you. Give him like $100. And then the way you just see like Joe Pesci's character just sitting there all like dejected and like he ends up killing him over that little insult. Like, oh my god, dude, that really is like one of the fun. It's
You know,
dark, it's grim, but it's funny as
you
hell.
know the reason why he mumbles, like mutters to himself in Home Alone, Pecci?
Oh no, why?
Because he could, like, he's like, I don't know how to act without swearing. It's like he's like,
Oh,
so he's like, I everything I'm in, I'm swearing. Come on, it's like, so he would swear. It's him creating like his own swear words.
that's
So
hilarious.
he's like, this is my character. I need to swear. So he's like, it's him swearing, but in made of words.
Wow, that's funny.
That movie. So, so little faith at the beginning, and look at it now.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You know that most of that movie was filmed in a high school.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Did
it
not.
was. It's the same one that like most of those movies were like that generation of like high school from like was like most of like the what like Weird Science and all those
Yeah,
that
yeah,
yeah,
right,
so that
right.
the high school actually was shut down, so they ended up just using it as like a movie set. Like the flooded basement is actually
I
the
I
school
had
pool.
I had heard that. Yeah, I had heard
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, it was reusing the high school that they had shot all the other movies at.
It's like that
I,
same It's like that same restaurant. It's over on it's like Wilshire and Hauser or uh no, not Wilshire and Hauser. What am I saying? It's like Wilshire and Fairfax, I think. Maybe it's like Wilshire and Fairfax.
are you you're talking about the Beverly and Fairfax, that high school? The
No, no, it's a cafe. It's the
Mm,
same thing where it's like
mhm.
it's in like every movie,
Yep,
and
Cantor's is in
it's
a lot of movies.
Cantor's is, yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not far
right by
from
me.
Cantor's.
I live
Yeah.
close to El Capadres, and that's in a lot of movies.
Mhm.
Like always, they're blocking off. I can't tell you how many times I'll try to pull down my street, and there'll be a movie like production blocking, and they're like, "Oh, you can't come down the street." It's like, no, 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 you can't block my street. You don't understand the way this works. Sorry, move. I'm driving
Yeah,
through.
move.
And they'll be like, "What? What?" I'm like, "Yeah, my street. Sorry, move, 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 move. Yep. Oh, okay, yeah, you moved. Great.
Yeah,
You can't
there's a
block my
few
street."
areas that are like that though. There's a few that's I'm even thinking about that cafe I'm talking about. I think it's
Hmm.
the same cafe in Pulp Fiction. I know
Hmm.
it's the cafe in Big Lebowski.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's in like everything.
There's that bowling alley that's in the valley that's in a lot of stuff too. I think that might have also been in Big Lebowski's. Hmm.
Probably, yeah.
I think that's the bowling alley they used. I think actually the one on thing on Ventura. Nobody else knows what I'm talking about. They're all just like, what are they talking about? These streets.
Big Lebowski, man. It's the best movie ever. Big Lebowski's the best movie ever. And if you don't agree with that, leave this space right now. Big Lebowski is
It
the
is.
best movie ever. What's up, JJ?
So JJ, I got to pin more stuff. I got distracted by shiny stuff. Conversation. Gonna pin JJ's post.
Thank you. Hey,
Evening,
TC.
everybody. Well,
Good
evening in the
evening.
UK. I am
Yeah.
away in the country this weekend, so I'm just checking in very quickly to say hello, everybody. And I'm behind. I need to catch up on streams. Yeah, just thought I'd jump in and say hello. We've just dinner, so we're just having a little time. So I thought I'd jump in and say hello. How you doing? What's new?
Well,
First,
I'm doing pretty good. I'll catch you up on one thing. I
ooh,
almost died yesterday.
what?
Live in here in the space,
What
and
on
I kept
stage?
the space going because that's how dedicated I am. Yeah.
That's
So
commitment.
I suffered. I bled out, and kept it going until it just became too serious.
What
And then I
what
did.
happened? What do you mean?
No, I have like a pretty bad wound on my leg, and it opened up when I was
Oh shit! You
talking
mean
yesterday.
actually? I
Yeah.
thought you
Oh
meant
yeah.
like the
For
expect
real.
when you die on stage. I thought you meant like you
No,
fell
no, no,
over
no. This was not
something really
metaphorical.
bad. Oh,
No, this was rather literal. Yeah, I almost died. No, it wasn't that bad,
you okay?
just so you know, TC. Yeah,
You
yeah.
got
Oh, I'm okay. I'm
stitches
fine.
or what?
Yep, it's all stitched up.
Should have seen the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. You should have seen the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm gonna. That's what I'm gonna do with this. I'm gonna turn it into a big story about how I was in like a knife fight. You know, I had to like fight 12 people off.
And this is like your origin story that you have to like. This is how did you get this knife? It's like this wound that keeps on coming up, and that's why you you know you've worked through it, and it keeps every time that you don't
I
have
don't like to
passive
talk
income.
about it too
You don't
much.
talk about it too
Yeah,
much, but every time
yeah.
that you don't get enough passive income, it's just like it bursts from the anxiety, and you can't have that anymore. So part of your mission is that you need to have the stacker agent in order to make sure that this wound doesn't open up anymore. Or we'll figure out something. AI will write the rest.
Yeah, we'll go to Claude. Hey JJ, I saw you you rugged a little bit there. What's up, dude?
GM, everyone. Nothing much. I just wanted to come up. I heard Dunk talking about the Home Alone set, and yeah, man, Home Alone is definitely one of my favorite movies. Especially like during the holidays, like me and my sister know like pretty much line for line every movie, and I did know that a lot of it was filmed like in the gymnasium of a high school, or
Mhm.
something like that.
The
But
whole high school was repurposed, like all of it. The
yeah,
entire
that's
house
crazy.
inside is actually in the high school.
Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, no, I just wanted to share that, Joe. I didn't realize I didn't make it to yesterday's space. I made it like literally right at the end, and
It
you were
was
like, "Yeah,
short. It was
I
only
gotta
like an
go to,
hour long.
I gotta go to the hospital." And I was like, "Oh, like I had no idea." But that's crazy that that happened, and I'm glad to hear that you're at least like on the bend upward. So that's real good,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
But I'm going to be in listening mode just for a couple minutes here. I'm actually out here trading my time for money. Unfortunately, my wife and I, we are a franchisee owner and operators. And so the franchise that we do is Card My Yard. We put up celebratory signs, and it's teacher appreciation week. So we're hitting a bunch of schools up that we have contracts with, and you know, doing this until I can have Stacker Agent make money, so I don't have to be out here in the rain and putting signs up and shit. So, yeah.
So, you know, speaking of that, JJ, speaking of time for money and things to do before Stacker Agent, you know, you guys had heard me talk about how I like messed around with that whiskey recommendation agent Bob. So what since I've got that under
Oh
my
yeah.
belt now, I yeah, I for the last like probably like 3 or 4 days, I've been sort of scraping the internet, kind of looking at things, you know, hey, what's something you could build an AI agent? I mean, there's lots of places are doing like customer service, you know, chat bots, and you know, hey, you can call into a construction company, or you know, you call into a realtor and they'll have an AI agent that will, you know, answer the phone, book an appointment, send emails, stuff like that. There's a lot of that that's getting used already. um but I'm looking for something that's a little, you know, something that's bigger and better than that, something that's better than just, hey, you know, book an appointment for me. So I've been I've been kind of going around looking at jobs that exist right now, actual like jobs that people work. I've got about 4 of them that I've identified that I think if you went to these people who do these particular jobs, and I said, "Hey, do you want me to make you an AI agent that can do your job for you? You buy the agent from me, and then you just, sit back and
They buy a subscription to the AI agent from you.
right, right. You buy the service from me.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in that?" So I'm gonna play around with that. I'll report back in the coming weeks, let you know how that works out. But um, like
That's
I
really what
said,
it is, dude. You're on the right track.
yeah, I mean that
100%.
that's the way it'll work, I think,
Well,
you
it's
know.
it's
So
just it's literally about taking something that people were doing manually and automating it.
yeah,
It's nothing that hasn't been done for since the beginning of time. We're just better at it right now. This is like the
yep,
pinnacle of automations. And
yep.
the automations are smarter than they've ever been. So it's like that's the way you have to look at it. Anything that you could do that you would do manually, can you automate it with a click of a button?
And
Done.
you've seen what I'm talking about too, like how a lot of the stuff that's getting a lot of the stuff that's getting automated right now is
Vanity.
I mean it's yeah, it's not even again I could see if you're a very, very, very success. You know how like every small town has that one realtor where like there's just that one realtor that everyone goes to for that
Hmm.
town. You'll see them on the little things at the grocery market, the little divider things, or they'll be in
Yeah, I mean,
the
like
carts.
my
Like
in when I was in Orange, it was the guy, and you know what he would do? That realtor, he would every 4th of July, he'd put a flag with his little advertisement on it on every single front. Like he'd put little tiny American flag in front of every house, and I shit you not, I didn't see another sign but his in that neighborhood.
so exactly. So like every small town,
Hmm.
and again, like they have that. So fine, if you're that person, if you're that guy, okay, it makes sense for you to have an AI agent that will answer the phone, kind of,
Yep.
work your calendar. Because a lot of the way these agents work, in case you guys haven't seen them, it works like a chatbot prompt. Like you'll get like a text message from them. Like it's normally inside of Telegram, and it'll be like, "Hey, do you want me to send an email to Dunk?" And you say, "Yes, send an email to Dunk telling him I said that that's okay." And then it'll send an email off. And then it'll, ping you back and say, "Dunk replied, he asked, is meeting at 11 okay?" And then you'll say, reply back saying 11 is okay and add to calendar. And then it'll go do those things for you. So it still does require a little bit of prompting. You still have to interact at some basic level, but it just makes it a lot easier. So again, if you're that realtor who's just so busy, or you're that like lawyer who's just so busy, you're always in court, you probably already have an executive assistant, and like the AI agent is basically going to make the executive assistant's job easier, is really what's going to happen. I see a lot of that. That's what I see. I don't see a lot of um first off, like what's happening with what we're doing in here is like this is unheard of, where you've got something that is actually fully executing trades, and based
Understands it,
yeah,
versus like
just not
we've
happening.
all had quote unquote trading bots where it goes like price go up, you sell,
Right.
price go down, and then the arbitrage trading bots. I've messed with those in the past too. Like even
Yeah.
before there were decentralized exchanges, I would
Well,
use
they're
the
just
arbitrage
order
ones.
books. They're
But
just
yeah,
order
well,
books.
even so, like
It's a fancy order
yeah,
book.
exactly, and it would just be okay. It's speculating on it. It's going like and there's certain like, oh, if the candle does this, then it does then,
Right.
but it's not really analyzing the past. It's
Right.
analyzing that one, like this candle went up more, this percentage. Okay, if it goes up 10%, sell. But it's not speculating on like why it might go up 10%. It's like
Right. Right.
And I see Laser has his Laser Ace has his hand up too. So
What up, Laser?
Yo, what's up, man? No, I'm just hyped and stoked about, what you guys are talking about. And honestly, man, like I was just saying this earlier, and like AI is kind of like the new version where folks are still trying to, utilize it for work or utilize it for the day to day. And it's just like how AOL first came out. We're like, what, it's like, hey, we got internet, for, well, not the
Yeah.
best, but it's like, think about it. What else is there to come, right? And it's us as the race that keeps evolving technology, evolving the AI. So I wouldn't be shocked, man. Like I said, if you haven't checked out, for the folks that are brand new, check out, what this team is about, what the community is about, because man, you guys are cooking, especially watch the live stream. So, but I watched the live stream today and I was just so excited. I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo, I can't wait anymore.
we're getting close. I saw Gary delist that other one like yesterday. I was like looking at my portfolio and I saw him delist the stacker he had listed. And I'm like, oh, I guess Gary delisted it. Cool. There's no floor price. But then this morning I watched the stream and I saw when he relisted it too. It's like,
Oh, what's it relisted at?
let's just say my portfolio right now, because I have the two stackers, says that my
Yeah,
portfolio is what, $73 million.
I
Um,
love it. Okay.
Hey,
so I looked at it. I'm like, it's gonna be.
that's
This is gonna
it.
be. This is look really nice when I bring up my portfolio on streams right now.
Oh
But
That's gonna be like,
God.
yo, millionaire right
That
here.
that's Dr. Monica's listing. That's not Gary's listing.
Woohoo.
that's not Gary's listing.
No, Gary took it off the floor altogether. He's not comfortable selling it at all. And Dr. Monica stepped up and put one of hers,
Oh, oh, okay,
listed one of hers. Yep.
okay. Thanks, Doctor
What
Monica.
did she put it at? What did she put it at? Do you know?
It was like it was like that
37.1 mil. I think it's like 255,000 sold.
Solana.
37 million.
There you
Okay.
go.
I mean,
But
mm,
the confidence is there. Like if you tap into
So,
kind of like Gary's thought process yesterday, like as he was like thinking that out, like in his monologue and what have you in today's stream, like he is 100% confident in the kind of revenue that it can generate, and he will be super sad if somebody comes scooped it up at. I think Gary
Thousand Solana.
originally listed, yeah, like for 2,500 Solana, and he was like, "Yo, like that's like 1 week's of earnings, like with this at like in full beast mode. Like he is that confident."
Somebody
Right.
might have big ball money. Like swing it around and just actually go buy it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. You never know, you know?
you never know who's watching from the sidelines. We are attracting different attention. But I think that it's really funny because when I was thinking, oh, when I go streaming, I'm just gonna like bring up that portfolio, like my step portfolio or whatever, and just like not even mention it. Just like have it up on screen, like, yeah, let me just go over here. Oh yeah, and I'll just like glide by it and just show $73 million in the wallet and just not even
They're
like
like, yo, whose
not
wallet
even
is
talk
that?
about it. What?
They'll be like, yo,
What?
whose wallet is that? What you
That's
doing
my
over there?
that's my wallet. It's my wallet. Hey, but here's the thing: it's like today, it's kind of crazy because like today we may be joking about that, but I shit you not, I feel like the not too distant future that it's gonna be like liquid. You know,
Hell yeah.
like we're gonna have that kind of liquid. That's why I was even like we were chatting briefly yesterday about like going like there's ways to we got to start thinking about how we're gonna be able to utilize that money because I think that there's gonna be so much that we're gonna have to go like how are we going to even be able to spend
Yeah, totally.
it?
oh, I am.
Well, that's the thought process with the whole reserve. Like on stream, he mentioned that five of the stackers he's going to keep to be workhorses for Gary Club, and 50%. Like when it gets to a certain point, that 50% will be converted to Bitcoin. 25% will stay in Solana, and then 25% into Gary Coin.
Oh yeah, we all could do that too. You should
Yeah,
be diversifying to
no,
different coins and stuff like that. Anyway, so
yeah, no, I agree, but just to the point
mhm,
where, like it's too much money like that. Like that's the whole purpose of the whole allocation structure.
mhm. Yeah, and then like we were talking about ways to get it into dollars most affordably, different strategies and stuff like that. Again, none of us are financial advisors, but there's different ways to do it. Like, there's different ways to get it back into dollars. There's different ways. And personally, I feel like we're going to be moving in a way that people are just going to start taking crypto. They're just be start accepting crypto a lot more in the
Oh
coming
yeah.
years,
Oh yeah.
and it's going to become less and less of an issue. And when our economy shadows any government economy, we will be able to control governments. So I'm just saying, like, that's when whoever has the biggest the reason why, quote unquote, like people say the U.S. has the most powers because their money economy has the most influence. So it's like if we didn't have that, then any country could have do that. But if the crypto market has more influence than the U.S. government, like our economy, like U.S. economy, then the crypto market is the global government, basically. If you think about it, does that make sense? Am I crazy?
It does. No,
Global domination.
Mm-hmm.
it's absolutely. I mean, each year that goes by, we get more and more into a system where warfare is no longer fought on distant battlefields, but is fought economically. I mean, it's
Yep.
not entirely there yet, but you know it,
It's getting to that point.
it's definitely getting to that point.
Part
Yeah.
of the economic part is the only thing that's not that I think that people go to war over is natural resources. Like that's the real thing that people want land for. Natural resources that land has done because it as far as like technology, okay, rare metals and things like that are on different land. That's why people go to physical war now. But I think you're 100% right. It's going down that route of everything just being economic warfare now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but eventually, like, dude, I feel like we're gonna be able to fabricate a lot of those things, and like, fabricating gold, fabricate like we can make diamonds now. That's why diamonds aren't as valuable anymore.
Yep.
So it's like as we are able to fabricate these things that used to be rare, then those things aren't rare anymore, and there's no reason to go and like do like you said, have that on boots on the ground war because nobody needs to go and invade a country to get raw materials anymore because we could just create them in a lab.
Well, so there's a couple things around that. One, like once we get better at ocean mining, so like for gold, the secret to that is you know ocean mining. Like once we crack that nut, gold will just plummet because there's so much gold that is just in the ocean that we just don't know how to really capture. We
And our
can't we
solar
we
system
do
only
know
has
how to capture it. We just don't know how to do it in a very efficient manner is the problem.
well, it's like in
And
our solar system in general, you don't even need to think about going like really far, 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 far.
right,
Like, but I know that it takes years to get anywhere in this solar system.
grab an asteroid, mine an
The nerd in
asteroid.
me knows. I mean, they've already done that in the show For All Mankind. That's one of the season plots. Trying to catch an asteroid that has raw materials on it that will change the trajectory of Earth. You know,
Right.
that's a good show, by the way, if you've never watched it.
Never even heard of it.
Well,
Um
it's a show about if Russia got to the moon first, and then the Cold War never ends.
okay. Gotcha.
How things would go differently.
Alternative history stuff.
I like that
Yeah.
stuff. I like
Yeah, me
alternative
too.
history shows,
Yeah,
like
me
Man in the
too.
High Castle, all those good
Yeah,
shows.
Philip K. Dick did. Yeah, I was gonna say Man in the High Castle. Yeah, yeah, that's like one of my favorite. I love that.
A great
It's a
show too if
great,
you've never seen it.
great, great book.
Book's good,
Um,
movies good or shows good. So both, if anybody's
I
ever.
love that type of stuff.
hmm
Like I'm a history geek, so of course I love that.
hmm Yeah, but if you like, you'll see like the things that actually happened and that's kind of like if you know it like the like what's it? Oh, you let him up? I didn't hit the button. I don't
Oh
want
yeah, I got it.
double
Yeah.
hit. But yeah, I love all those like alternate history stuff. That's like just different enough. Like if this one thing had happened differently, I mean, you could even think about it this way. Like I'm going to talk about alternate history in this sense. What if you showed up today and this was your alternate history moment? And you heard what we're talking about today, and you said, "What the hell are they like? A stacker agent? Like, what is this thing?"
Right.
Like, and this is your moment, and one version of you. does this, like hears this and then takes advantage of it and does something that changes the world. And the other version is somebody that didn't come and didn't jump on a space today and didn't hear what we're talking about and then didn't do any of that stuff, and all those good things didn't happen. I mean, that can go also the other way, that somebody is here and uses it for evil. But 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 that's everything is a ripple effect. I'm a firm believer in the butterfly effect.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, absolutely. Hey Zazie.
Uh,
Hey guys, a happy Sunday to everyone. Just came up to do a little bit of housekeeping. None of this is financial advice. Do your own research. But there is 4 links to Giraffe raffle that I painstakingly posted on our bubble. That will give you a chance for a very low price to own a giraffe, a chance to win a raffle, even though it's just 1 ticket. And since we are spreading the good news, uh, feel free, and I still have to do that, to tag 2 or 3 of your friends to come in this room because we are trying to spread this good news. It's too good to be kept secret. So go tag 2 or 3 of your friends so they can learn about what we're doing.
It's Sunday, and we're trying to, as Zazie says, spread quite literally the gospel. Okay? Gospel is a word that
And
comes from a Greek word that means good news.
I
So
just
we're quite literally trying to spread the gospel. Get your friends in here, guys. Come on. Thank
and
you, Zazie.
I
and you,
just
you
want
could
to
spread it
say
7 days
thank.
a week, by the way. It doesn't have to be on Sunday.
Of course, I want to thank Dr. Monica because now the stacker, the super, uh, what do you call that? The
The
super.
floor price.
Yes, we're now
how's your
literally
how's your
paper
portfolio look today?
billionaire. I mean millionaires. So thank you. I can show that portfolio when I'm onboarding somebody. See, we're now in millions.
When I looked at, didn't know they did that because I it was already done before I woke up this morning, and I looked at I always check that first thing in the morning, like I'm like, I wonder how everything's going. And I looked at it and I was putting on my glasses and I was like squinting and I'm like, is that, wait, I'm like looking at it closer and like, what happened? I'm like, wait, is that wait, that's an extra 2 digits.
There's
I was
13 new millionaires in the Gary Club.
Can't believe it. That's so awesome. So, okay, hold on a second. When he was in the stream the other day, he said one of you who were in there would have to kind of help me with this. He said at full beast mode, it would get a thousand or 25. Was it 1,000 or 2,500 a week? Oh, here's Gary right here. I'll just ask him right now. Can you bring Gary up, Dunk?
Yeah, again.
Hey, Gary. Hey,
Tim,
What's up?
question for you. Um, I think JJ or someone had just said the reason you pulled your stacker off was because in the stream you were saying, "Hey, I could basically earn that in a week if I was going real aggressive with it." And I wanted to play that out and say what that would be annually. So, because you had it listed at 1,000, right? 1,000 Solana.
yeah, I mean, I played with it, but today, so right now, today, the top wallets over the last 24 hours on Solana have made right at $400,000 today.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe I make 50 grand a day, right? Maybe I'm not as good as the top wallets. Maybe they're better than me, but I make 50 grand a day. Well, 50 grand a day for me times, I don't know, 365 days, that's $18.25 million a year.
Yeah.
So anything less than that, I'm an idiot for
To
selling it
sell.
because I
Yeah.
don't need to sell it. It's
Right.
decentralized enough. We have enough adoption. We have enough people who value it, and we haven't doxed wallets.
Right.
So I'm not at the phase where I have to say, man, I really wish more people knew about Stacker Agent.
Right.
I'm at the phase right now that says I can't let these out of my wallet because they're not going to circulate. I'm not going to get a chance to get this back, and I need that because I need it to make money. Because a lot of people wouldn't, but I hold integrity around the way I interact. A lot of people would say, look, it's going to be me and all my friends plus these 50 people, and I just don't think that's in integrity.
Right.
Now, our team will have to use the skills because we have to test the skills and we have to constantly innovate. So we'll have a small group of team members that exceed our normal quantities. But I have to do that because we can't, like, if the team's not using it, they don't know how to make it better.
Of
Like,
course. Yeah,
that's
of
just what
course.
it is.
Yeah.
And I don't have stacker agents for all of the team. There's no way I could do that. I would have needed, everything we have. But beyond that, there's no other access beyond our tokens. And that's the way that I think that we hold that in integrity. Because like some of these coins, like so Elon tweeted Gork a few minutes ago, and we called 7 tokens in that launch. 7 tokens launched in the last 20 minutes. And there was a lot of money to be made in those. So like one of them we didn't even catch it cheap. We called it at 4.8 million, and it pumped to 22 million.
Ooh. Okay, nice.
So I mean that's still a 4x.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In 16, it's 16 minutes old. So if you
Beautiful.
were available, right, and you were hitting the button there, you could have whatever you put in, you would have 4x'd it. So the top traders on this token already, they have realized gains of 12,000. Unrealized gains. The top trader's got an unrealized gain right now of $44,000. Another trader's got an unrealized gain of 94,000. Another trader an unrealized of 72,000. Another one at 86,000. These were all in the last 16 minutes. So to think that I could sell a stacker agent for any amount of money is just crazy to me. Like I don't think there's an amount of money right now that I would
what
let
I
one
was
out of my
gonna
wallet for.
say, what I was gonna say is, when you're selling a business too, you don't sell at just 1x annual. You normally, when you're working something out like that, like if you're if you're in business with with a partner, and you're gonna like buy the partner out, or they're gonna buy you out, you normally do like, you know yeah, at least a 2x 4x. I mean, even 5x, that's not unheard of. So I mean, really selling it at, at that 18 point whatever million is actually rather low. That would be a low, that would just be like a deal, selling it at a very discounted clip. So again, you're going to sell a business, you sell it, for three times the annual revenue, 4 times the annual revenue.
Yeah,
So
and I
that
just looked at
that
the
would be more
assets that I have.
realistic.
Yeah, I looked at the assets that I have, Joe, and I'm just over allocated. I don't have, or I'm under allocated. I don't have any assets that I can give up. I have one, and that's the one that I delisted because I have 13 stacker agents that I held back. That was the plan was originally to sell 150. We sold about 25 to 30, and I said I would hold the rest of them and I would sell them as we built and as it grew. And that's was my intention. It's what I told everybody, and that's what I did for a couple of them. But now I have, well, I don't even have 13. I have 11 because one of them's already promised to someone who buys a floor giraffe, and the other one is on raffle right now. So I have 11.
Right. Yeah. Right.
5 of them are taken. One for me, one for my wife, one for my son, one for my daughter, and one for my co-founder. That's 5. I can't. When we built this, when Tess and I started building this, we wanted to build this in a way that even if no one else used it, we could make money. If we didn't get a single user, if everybody hated it, if nobody believed it would work, that it would work for us and we would make money with it. And we're 100% confident that we've achieved that now.
Yeah.
So I want Gary Club to be a very valuable company in the future. I believe the future is ran by AI agents.
Yep.
And I believe that the most valuable companies in the future will have a fleet of agents that are doing tasks for them. I'm an idiot if I don't hold 5 or 6 of these back to run inside of Gary Club
Of course.
to
Yeah.
generate income for the club. So when we go to open our private club, we don't have to figure out how we pay for it or how we sell memberships. We don't have to play the game of, pay the 50 grand initiation fee.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
making more money than we know what to do with, and we're just having fun in the club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's the dream way. Like I saw this private club. I saw it on Instagram today. It's opening up in Washington D.C. and it's a $50,000 initiation fee, and there's people lining up to pay it.
Yep.
These social clubs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Believe me, I
I
know.
want to
Yeah.
do it. I want to do it in a totally different way. I want to do it inside of Gary Club, but in a way that we don't have to charge 50 grand, but we can still make it as exclusive and as nice and as luxury and all those things.
Yep.
Well, the only way I know to do that is to use what I think is most companies will do and have some AI agents that trade for them. So right now, my intention is to keep one of those for some future relationship or deal or sell for a big amount of money at some point in time, and then to put the other 5 to work inside the club, grow in the reserves for the club.
Love it.
I think I could probably fund those. I mean, even if I just funded them with 10 SOL each,
Yeah.
I think that 10 SOL each would turn into thousands of Solana in each agent. And then all of a sudden now we're taking that Solana and some of it's buying Bitcoin, some of it's buying Gary Coin, and some of it's staying in Solana. And then, if we need to liquidate anything at any point in time for, a capital allocation to build a headquarters or something like that, that's fine. It's better to have Bitcoin that goes up 4 times than it is to
Exactly.
hold US
Exactly.
dollars.
Yep. Yeah.
And then we'll take the mass majority of our fees, right? Some of it will be used to buy Gary Coin, but the other stuff we'll convert that to stables just at market rate. So we're never trying to watch where the market's going to go and we don't get caught. That means we sell some Solana at 140 bucks and we sell some at 190 until we get enough stables, and then we just hold it all in Solana. If our run rate, if we have expenses of $3 million or $5 million a year, we get a couple years of expenses in stable coins, and who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
We don't need
Right.
to sell Solana cheap anymore. We can hold Solana until it gets up to 300 or 400 bucks or 500 bucks or whatever. So that's
Love it.
why I
Love
changed
it.
my price. That's why I pulled it off the market. It's also why I'm highly debating. Look, I don't know what's going to happen with this person who wins the stacker agent. It could be one of you and you could love it. And you could never, ever, ever, ever sell it. And that's amazing. But it could also be someone that just looks and says, I just won something and I want to go for it. And I don't get to control that.
I know.
It's a raffle. It's not my choice. But what I do know is that there's an offer right now for a stacker agent of 22 Solana. And I know if I want it and I didn't care about it, 22 Solana sounds pretty nice.
Yeah. Right.
That's like 3,300 bucks, and I just paid $2.50 to get a raffle ticket. Well, I know that that's the alpha play, so I'm not 100% yet, but I'm about 95%. I'm going to put in a big offer and see if this person decides to hit the button and sell it back. Right now, I've made 5,000 minus 2,635. That's 2,365 times 0.0169 times 0.95. So I've made about 37.87 Solana. I wouldn't be mad if I ended up flipping all of it back in, or 50 or 60 or 70 of the Solana back in to grab that one right back. If that person happens to floor it. If they don't floor it, well, there's no big deal. I just get to pull my money back in a couple days. I don't have to leave the offer out there forever. But I think that's going to be an alpha play for somebody. Either me or someone else.
That is the alpha play right there. I mean, it hope someone else gets it, doesn't know what they have, and then just, buy it for 25, 30, whatever. Just make sure you're the highest offer.
100 soul. Here you go.
Yeah, and Laser, you just shot me a message. We do have the other way to get a stacker, which is great. It's a great opportunity, is to buy a giraffe off the floor. You buy a floor giraffe, which it means that you bought one. That's great. You get your wallet put on the list to be in a drawing for a stacker agent. I have one there for a raffle. It won't be like a raffle on Raffle Decks. It'll just be a drawing for me. And we only have, I think there's 40 people right now, 39 or 40 people that qualify for that. So all you have to do is buy a floor giraffe. Just hit the buy button and buy it. And if you do, then it will, your name will be there on the list. And I think that's a hell of a chance too, to buy a giraffe, which you believe in and you value anyway, and to get a free chance to win a stacker.
Right now, there's how many people? There's 40 now?
Yeah, I think we're right at 40. I can check really quick. Hold on. We are at we are at, if it loads, here we go, 39.
39.
So right now there's 39 people on, there's 39 wallets on that list.
And I know 2 of those are me.
Yeah,
so.
and it's, I mean, look, you buy twice, your name's on the list twice. You buy 3 times, your name's on the list 3 times. But right now, that's the cheapest. Well, that's the best odds.
That's your best odds, yeah.
But because you get the giraffe and it's yours. But the other way to play it is to go buy 500 raffle tickets at Raffle Decks. 500 raffle tickets is 8.45 Solana. That would put you at the top of the leaderboard. Ever who buys the most and loses gets a free giraffe. So maybe you get a giraffe if you lose. If we get more than one that has 500, we'll do a random on that. But you then get a 10% chance of winning a stacker agent because you have 500 of the 5,000 tickets, and that's a 10% chance. It doesn't mean you win, but it does mean you have a 10% chance of winning. So getting to 500 tickets for like 8.45 Solana, I think is a strong alpha play as well. You could lose, and you could lose that 8.45 Solana, but if you win, then you got a stacker agent for 8.45, and you had a 1 in 10 chance of winning it.
Right. Took me a second to do that math right there, but I got there.
Yeah, because if you have 500 tickets and there's only 5,000 tickets, then you own 10% of the tickets.
Exactly.
So there's a 10% chance that your name is drawn. Where if you go buy a floor giraffe right now, you would be the 40th, and there's only a 1 in 40 chance that you win.
Right.
For almost, I mean, within a soul each of the same amount of money. But you also get a giraffe, so you don't lose. You buy a giraffe, so that's kind of the difference. If you go at Raffle Decks and you don't win, you lose the raffle, you lose your money. At least if you buy a giraffe, you get a giraffe to hold.
Boy, oh boy, it's getting serious here.
But these are just, they're not going to circulate.
Yeah, I know. This is
And-
my last chance to win. This is my last chance to get something here.
And the
Oh,
DAO
well,
doesn't have
everyone's
any.
basically.
There's no stacker agents in the DAO, so there's none to allocate anywhere else. I mean, obviously somebody could give you one. Like Dunk could be like, man, I got an extra one, or Dr. Monica could say, I got an extra one. I'll give you one, Joe. I love you.
Come on, Dr. Monica.
I mean, that would be amazing. I don't know that but other than that, I just don't think these are going to circulate. And I think when they do circulate, they're going to circulate for multiple 6 or 7 figures, probably multiple 7 figures.
Yeah, I think so.
I could see like, I really, I could see times when somebody might sell one for $5 or $10 million. Because if not, then they're just better to let it run itself. Now, the difference is going to be when people pass away and stuff and they leave it to their kids. But if they're smart, they'll set up their stacker agent to feed their blind trust. And their blind trust will feed everybody else.
That's right. So
then it's just a perpetual money machine as long as, and if you die with 1,000 Solana sitting in there, imagine how much money you're going to generate for the next so many years for your family.
Fucking A, yeah.
Just going into a blind trust and funding a trust.
Yep. Well, again, this is why I keep saying, we're going to get to a point where it won't be with stackers, most likely, because stackers just won't really circulate. But with Giraffe, given enough time, we'll have situations like that because we'll get these very wealthy family offices that will have a situation like that where they'll have, Giraffe with, 1,000, 10,000 Solana in there, where now, where you have these very wealthy families where they've got $1 billion and people are just living off the interest of, 4%. They just live off that. And, the principal grows a little bit and they just live off their, $100,000 a day in interest. Well, same thing's going to happen with Stacker Agent. They'll have a shitload of money in a Giraffe, and it's just whatever, making whatever it's making per day. One day it's making 5%, one day it makes 15%, one day it hits a home run and there's 60% gain. Another day, oh, not so great, kind of broke even. It'll just be that. It'll be that situation, and that's what's funding the, like you said, the family trust account. I can so see that scenario. Oh, donkey rugged. Here, I'm bringing you up. Hey, Dunk, you're back.
I pissed off a bunch of people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? what what happened?
Well, a lot of my audience on Facebook, they're in the business coaching niche, and they're trying to convince their customers that AI is not going to take over their lives.
Oh boy, they're just lying. You're just lying.
Yeah, well, and they're lying because that's
Yeah.
their income. And if they don't make their income, they don't have a business. So if they tell everybody, look, AI is going to take over everything, then why would you pay your business coach anymore?
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay. Right.
So it's their limiting mindset saying I have to hold on to this, so I have to put fear in people that
Yep.
or build people a different mindset.
Yep.
AI is not going to do this and this and this
Sell
and this.
them the automation.
Yeah, where in my mind, what I've learned, and I told Paul, one of my top clients, I said I can't think of a reason for you to pay me in the next year or two. Maybe today, right? Maybe we're not quite there today, but I can't think of a reason for you to halt and pay
Sure.
me in the next couple years
Yeah.
because
Fast forward 5 years. There's probably no reason, but right
I
now,
know where it's
sure.
going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not even that it's sure. Like I can have a conversation with ChatGPT about my business, and as long as I'm honest, I get better coaching than I've ever had from any coach I've ever paid.
Right.
I can ask it questions. It has more knowledge. It has more insights. It has more reference material. It's faster. It's attentive. It always listens to me. It never worries about their own problems. It calls me on bullshit. It does everything I need it to do.
And now
But
it crosses between chats too. Like you could have a
yeah, exactly
conversation in
right.
one chat. It's like like I just noticed. I'm like it knows me way better than it used to. Like
You
did
know
anybody
what?
notice that shift?
You
It's
know what?
crazy.
I noticed that too, and I had to actually stop it at one point because it was doing it so good. I didn't know it was able to do that, and I was trying to silo two projects.
Hmm.
Oh my god, bro, check this out. All right.
You create projects and you create
Y-
like your custom instructions
y-
for it
y-
and your custom data for it.
right. So check this out. So and this was with my little whiskey thing. So I wanted to make like a control set, okay? And then I wanted to have like my go live real thing. And it like started to pull from my control. And then I had to like be like, no, go back. Don't ever reference that again. I had to like teach it. When you're in here, don't ever look at that or reference that again. That should never, I was like, how did it even know to do that? It just like figured it out on its own to do that. It was mind blowing, man. So, because it was doing that to like better understand me, and it's so crazy how good and how smart it is.
Yeah, because the average person is using it for themselves, not to create businesses and multiple projects and
Right,
stuff like that.
right,
But like
right.
my wife Peyton, she's wanted to know what her color scheme is, color analysis, some shit like that. I don't know what color makeup and clothes you should wear.
Oh, okay.
And she struggled and she wants to go see a color analysis and all this stuff. So I was with ChatGPT last night And a lot of people don't know this, but you have to tell ChatGPT what it is.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
you
don't,
have to start the prompt with that. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
you don't just say like, "What's my color analysis?" question mark. You have to give it something. So you have to say like, "This is what I am," or whatever. So I told
You're an
ChatGPT
experienced clothing designer. Tell me my
exactly.
color analysis. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said, you're an advanced color specialist that helps women pick their ideal color palette for clothes, hair, and other cosmetic items. You will deliver a comprehensive color analysis based on the picture that I provide. Are you ready or do you have any questions? And that's important at the end.
Yep. Yep.
Are you ready or do you have any questions? This is what I need. Did you get everything that I need based on what I told you so far? Well, it wrote back and it said, I have a couple of questions. Um, Please upload a clear picture. Let me know if this is your current hair color or you're considering a change, and any style preferences, like everyday wardrobe or special events or whatnot. So I uploaded a
People
picture.
are
My wife
asking you
went
about
on.
your usual hair color.
Well, it's for my wife. It's for
Oh,
dating.
oh.
So I uploaded a picture of her sitting on her yoga mat, and it came back with a complete color analysis with exactly what color she should wear in her wardrobe and what her makeup should be and what her hair color should be, with the actual color codes and everything like that. And that service is hundreds of dollars, and it may be accurate or it may not when you go pay for somebody. But now we got it for my $20 a month subscription. And it's good. It's really good. And you could go in depth even more. And that's just on one question. So when you open up ChatGPT and you start having a conversation with it, it reasons with you, it understands you, it empathizes with you, it gives you advice and guidance. It can analyze things for you where a lot of people can't and a lot of people don't. Like I remember whenever I had a business coach, Suzanne Evans was one of my coaches, and I was paying her like 45 grand a year, fucking lots of money. But if I was working on a Sunday and I needed some help, if I got stuck, I couldn't call her. I couldn't say, "Hey, Suzanne, drop what you're doing with your family or whatever and coach me right now. I need you." I had to wait until my next call. So the ease of access and the availability is very valuable to me. Knowing my business. So when I talk to like Suzanne about crypto, she has no fucking clue about crypto. Well, I can talk to my chat GPT coach and it knows exactly what I'm doing in crypto. And it gives me ideas and insights and all of this stuff. I can say, why is this project pumping? And it'll go analyze all the data on chain and tell me. Right. So market research that my coach would never know to do or never be able to help me on. So I think it replaces about 99.9% of the coaching industry today if you know how to use it correctly.
Yeah, I noticed one thing too that you can do. I agree with you, by the way. I totally agree with you. Um, there's like a whole one thing that I was thinking, like a whole like what would you call it? Like a whole like cottage industry that will pop up, and then it's probably going to be a short-lived one, to be sure, but will be people who you can reach out to who are like really good at writing the prompt, like really, really good at, you tell them, hey, this is what I
Well,
want.
Chat GPT is the best at it.
You know what? See, that's the thing. It's
All
already good at. So why
Yep.
even have the person? That's true.
you
That's
just
true.
tell
Write me
Chat
a prompt
GPT,
for this. Yeah.
right? I need to
Right.
write a prompt for this. Can you help me?
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
a
I've
good
been
point.
doing. You have a conversation with it. Even when I'm doing deep research, I find that if I have a long conversation with the chat and really fine tune before I even hit that deep research button, the output's just substantially better because it
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
exactly what to search for.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even go into Claude. Go to Claude. Have Claude write you a prompt. Then take that and then put that in. There's probably different ways like that to even like maximize results. I haven't done that, but I might do that. But yeah, there's probably no better prompt writer than GPT itself. Hey Nick.
So
Yo,
while we
what's
were
up,
in here,
bros?
yeah, what's up, Nick?
How you doing, Gary? That's my first time talking to Gary.
What's up, man? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, boss. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, you just saved me $100,000. Like, I was about to get a student loan for college, bro, and then my friend put me on your space, and I was like, "F that! I'm gonna get a giraffe and try some other things out too as well."
Yeah, look, I don't think many jobs will exist in the next 5 to 10 years. And I'm not telling you not to go get a degree. If that's what you want to do, that's great. But I don't think you should go in debt to do it. I think you should make some money. And then if you want to, education is going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper because they'll use AI more and more and more, and human capital will go down. So if you could delay your education 2 years, you could probably finish a 4-year degree in 2 years
Mm-hmm.
and do it for a fraction of the cost using AI and still get the same degree if you still want it then.
So,
And take that $100,000 or the available debt of $100,000 and go do something very different with it that you're not having to trade time for money because like I don't think there's anything wrong with the college experience, but you can get the college experience if you live near a college.
true.
You're still the same age. You can go live near the college and still have the same experience. You just don't have to go to classes every day.
Or you're gonna have the college experience with the stacker agent. You're gonna have enough money, and you could
Yeah,
do that college experience every
There
day.
you go. Yeah, there you go.
exactly. I mean, we just call it like while I was in here. We call this token it dropped called Moglon, Moglon, the Mog Father. We called it at 951,000 and it ran to 2.7 million just while we were here talking. So that's a 3x right there, just while we're here talking. We call, let me see what this one went to. Darth Musk. Yeah, so we caught that one. It's just now starting to pump. It's 7 minutes old. So we caught that one. It's in a max extract moment. And we called, what's this other one? Darthlon. So we caught that one and at 2 million and it ran to 2.8. So gains every single one of these. And these are just why we're here talking. That we all miss because we're here talking. But Stacker
Right.
Agent didn't miss because it's locked in and watching these. And you can go set up your your little filters and all that stuff that I teach you. But all of these are just great opportunities right now. When Elon's active, the market gets to moving. And that's what's going on right now. There's a lot of tokens being launched around things that Elon's talking about. Free raffle, 85 tickets left if you haven't entered yet. 1,000 tickets total, free raffle, 1,000 Gary coin prize. Did you get your ticket, Joe?
No, I didn't. I did not. I'm going to go do that right now. I didn't realize that was even happening.
I post the
You
link
should
in
you
the
should
comments.
you should like yeah. You should look at the things that are pinned, Joe.
Dude, I've just been trying to stay alive right now, man.
Okay,
All the
you still have time. Go enter it in. Yeah.
all the links are in the comments of all the giraffe on raffle and the free one. And also,
Oh, yeah, yeah. This,
I
yeah.
think
Okay.
Truman has something to say. Are you there, Truman?
Hello, hello everyone.
What's up,
What's up,
Truman?
Truman?
I'm good. Yes. So, if you don't mind, I run a crowdfunding campaign, Joe. If I can share it here.
Of course. What's up?
Yeah. So, me and my other friends are currently running a crowdfunding campaign for our final graduation project for the college. Our project is to create a short film, and the one I'm directing is titled "The Table That's Never Quiet." It tells the story of a single father. The name is Karsa, who tries to reconnect with his only son, Bima, by inviting him to share a meal. But every attempt is met with silence and emotional distance, as Bima still carries wounds from his father's past absence. So, the issue we want to highlight is the fatherlessness, how sometimes a parent can be physically present but emotionally absent, which creates distance in their relationship. So through this film, we hope to send a message to parents that being physically there is not enough. Yeah. So this is our project for our final year. So
Like
that's
it.
it.
Very good, man. Very good. Do you have a link? Do you have a link where people could go to help you out with that?
I
Yeah, it's on
posted
my
it,
pinned post.
and I posted it on the comment down on the bubble
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
to help Truman.
Thank you, Zazie.
Yeah, let me. I don't see it down there, Zazzy. I'm looking for it. I'll put it up top. Oh, there it is. I got it. All right, I'll put it up top for you here, Truman.
Thank you.
And
The
Yes.
table that's never quiet.
Yeah, it's the English version of the title. We have the Bahasa version.
Okay.
So if you donate uh above $350, you will be titled as the executive producer, and then you can have private access to watch the film after it's done. And then if you want, you can put your logo on the credit title or maybe on the intro.
Look at that. You can get an EP credit for just 350, guys. That doesn't
Yeah.
happen in the town that I'm at. I'll tell you
Nope.
that.
No.
Nope.
They
May,
normally want your soul. So
may,
350 is not much to ask for.
yeah. Maybe Gary want to put a Giraffe logo on our film.
Throw in the giraffe. I love it.
we can all donate, and then we can have
Can have
club or whatever, the Gary Club logo or whatever.
anybody that has their draft, they own the IP. So if anybody owns a draft and they want to do something, like if like anybody, they can do whatever they want. But like the Gary Club, that's Gary's, and Draft Tower, that's also Gary's. But you could use the IP from your draft and whatever you like.
Yeah, and we just stay out of it as a club. There's a lot of people that need a lot of help, and I just took the stance that we just don't get involved, personally. So we don't, because I mean, literally, I've had people ask me to buy gifts from their kids for their Christmas thing and the cookie sales and all that stuff, and I just made a decision early on. I was just going to say no to everything, so nobody got their feelings hurt or it wasn't biased or anything like that. So I just say no to all that. A great concept and great idea, and everybody's free to do what they choose. We just say no to that.
But anyone else, you can do whatever you like. So it's posted up top. Posted up top, and yeah. Where? Oh, I put it up there. I'm like, where? It's under Zazzy's name though. So yeah, look under Zazzy's name, the very first pin post. That's for Truman.
Thank you, guys.
You got
And
it, Truman.
if you donate from $25 minimum, I will put your name on the special thanks on the credit title too. So
So,
yeah,
sir, how are you actually taking donations? I missed that part. Like, how are you actually accepting them? That I'm just curious.
I just put the wallet address there, and then it goes to the production.
Yeah, but how are you tracking it? So somebody said, so people are messaging you and just saying like, "That's my wallet. I sent it from here." Just curious. So how are you actually tracking the send? You use something like Helio,
What
for
it
instance,
what it
or
says right here
Mhm.
in the thing, Dunk. It says wallets you can drop it to,
Mhm.
and then you reply with with your hash, with your TX,
Okay,
and yeah, it's spelled out pretty
just making.
clear.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
looking over it right now. Just wondering how make sure people get credited if they, you know, anybody could post a wall, say that a wallet's theirs. My point.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. I guess they could. Oh, probably not though.
I'm
There,
just, I'm just, I'm
that'd
just,
get caught pretty easily.
yeah, just saying, just curious. Don't listen to me.
61
Oh,
tickets left on the free raffle.
Joe, did you get yours in? You better go get a raffle in.
And then we're only, oh, what are we at right now? We are 47% of the way done on the stacker. When we hit 50%, someone's going to win 500 Gary coin. So right now there's 251 opportunities, 251 people. All you have to do is buy one ticket. And if you do, you could win 500 Gary coin. I'll do a drawing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 10 random numbers, 1 through 251. I'll go find that person, right? I'll literally go find their wallet. I'll scroll and scroll and scroll until I can find them. I'll find every participant. We'll go through and we'll put 10 names on a wheel. I'll spin the wheel. I'll do it on stream. I'll spin the wheel and we will give away 500 Gary coin to someone that bought at least one ticket in the first 50%. So great opportunities to get involved. And look, I just can't tell you enough. Like Rab4 TCT is 404 tickets playing to win. Lazy Man's got 306 tickets. Buckwheat's got 214 tickets. Larry's got 187. Red 5 Alive 21's got 84. Whacked NFT's got 53. Pips Magoo's got 50. Danny's got 49. Bearded Bongman's got 48. There's a lot of people playing this to win it. It's a valuable NFT. I think if I hadn't started that raffle on the 1st of May, I wouldn't be raffling it right now. I would have made the decision to hold it and just say, that's it. If you want one, go buy a Giraffe. But I already raffled it before. This weekend, the data that I saw this weekend when I saw Stacker Agent in production changed my mindset about how much opportunity exists for us. It changed a lot of my thought process. The data's good. It's really good. It's going to get better, but it's really, really good. So for me, my level of bullishness went up by like 1,000% over the last 48 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Hi everyone, I just want to add, if you can hear me.
Yes, we hear you.
Oh, that's great. Because I know that Gary have been building Stacker Agent for over 3 years. And originally they were selling, I think, like $3,000 only. But this is 3 years in progress. And if you go back, Solana launched in COVID time, it was $1. So actually that's Stacker listed today. If someone bought Solana in 2020, it's just only $250,000 in the price from COVID. So it's very cheap. I believe there are people who hold this amount of Solana, and if they want to use this tech, which is Gary building for over 3 years, and even if you look at price in 3 years ago on Solana, it was $10. So let's say this is $2.5 million only. So it's nothing for someone. And looking now, the last stacker sold for like 81 Solana. It was a group of people buying this together. And the next stacker, I believe, will be a group of different companies, different Web3 joint ventures, looking into how to get this. I think this could be even the last stacker listed this year, in my opinion. Because what I hear, what Gary is telling, that he's so bullish, his mindsets change 1000%. I don't think there will be more stackers listed. And all of those people are here very lucky.
Yep. That's a very good point. Very, very good point there. Man, I wish I had bought a lot of Solana when I first opened this
Yeah.
Phantom wallet.
Same thing.
Man,
I bought more.
it's a very good
I
point.
bought quite a bit, but in hindsight, you always go like, that wasn't enough.
I know.
I was buying Solana when it was originally like the original 100 mark, and then
Yep.
it did its crash. I'm like, oh god, and I just kept on buying it, and then that all turned into Gary. So
God, man.
because it was a better bet to keep my money in Gary long term. Yeah, much better
Yeah,
bet.
if I had a lot of stuff to do over, I would have played a lot of things differently. I would have never built what we built.
Well,
I wouldn't have.
that was a moment for people to pull the liquidity out, right?
Yeah, I just wouldn't have. I wouldn't
Hmm.
have built that. I wouldn't have built the tech we built. I wouldn't have. I would have done a lot of things differently. It took, and I think a lot of people really underestimate this. You come into Web3 and you go, and if you launch a project quickly, you just don't know what you don't know. And there's a lot of learning here. It's like no other industry I've ever been in my life.
Hmm.
So I really, 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 really think if you want to launch something in Web3 in crypto, I think you should spend 3 or 4 years in crypto learning about crypto.
I
I
think
think
that's
you
a good
should,
idea. Yeah.
and it's not just learning technically about crypto, but
Right.
it's learning the culture of crypto, learning why things move, learning how liquidity moves. And I think you should play the game before you ever launch your own game. Meaning, you should go make money on tokens. You should go flip NFTs. Should go do the things, whatever things
Well,
you
it's
want to go
just a
build.
place where the traditional rules don't apply. In fact, the traditional rules will fuck you over.
Yeah.
If you come in here with your mindset from your construction company, you're done.
Yep.
Go home. Go home. If you come in here with your mindset from your computer programming job, go home, you're done. Like it's just so different.
Well, even
And
if I would have listened to the people, like there was people telling me that I was making a huge mistake leaving school.
mhm,
Oh, we had such an engaged community there, Gary. You're making a huge mistake leaving school. Well, I saw
best
the
thing you
writing on
did
the wall.
actually.
I
Best thing you
know
did.
because
Yeah.
we were behind closed walls with no organic reach.
Yeah, right.
So we were engaged. We were like hyperactive people in a padded room.
Mhm.
And as they started to shift their algorithm, we didn't get any more engagement. Now it was great. It brought us in some
Partially
great
that way in
community members.
Discord too.
Yeah, it 100% was. We were can't do it for whatever he's going on vacation, that the community steps up and pulls the weight for right. I hope that there's enough people here, whether it's Zazzy or Truman or it doesn't matter, Dr. Monica TC, JJ Dunk, whoever it is. I mean, hell, I'll step up and take a shift if I need to and host one day if I need to, if Joe needs some days off. So we don't lose the momentum that this space is bringing, a place to come in and talk and ask questions and build community and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, I speaking of school, by the way, um and I'm not saying this to, say like I'm special. This is not how I mean it at all. But other than me coming in there when I did, was there ever any other new members who came in that like bought a lot
Well,
inside of school?
Lester has.
Lester. All right, so it was be me and
So,
Lester basically.
well, Lester aped in big
Okay.
and came through that piece of the journey. I'm trying to think if there was anybody else that came through. We had about 12 new Giraffe come in and buy, which was great. It helped at the time.
Okay.
Some of those people are kind of waiting on. They still hold their Giraffe. We didn't get a lot of people that floored them, so that was good. But we were only in school for 7 months, 6 months,
Got it. Okay.
something like that. So getting Lester combined, that's 40 Giraffe and a lot of Gary coin.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting the other 10 or 15 unique holders that came in and bought during that little journey. And
So,
then we had some other people too. Like one of the things, and I changed my language after it happened the last time, but we had this one guy and he came in, and we get it a lot. People that come into our community and they buy some assets and then they go to launch their own project and then they sell all their assets. So we had this other guy, his name was Brian Campbell, and he came in and bought, 20, 30 Giraffe. But like his first purchases, I had to help him. And he paid me on like credit card with Stripe, and I used crypto to go buy them for him.
gotcha.
And then like a month or two later, he was launching his own projects, and he launched 3 or 4 projects nobody ever bought. He just sold amongst himself and just kept flipping them from one wallet to another wallet to make it
Oh,
look like
okay.
there was
Got
volume.
it. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But it comes in, a lot of people will come in, like he came in, learned about us, learned what we were talking about, and then took our mission of freedom and went and created a whole collection to try and attract the audience. It didn't work. I've noticed that a lot. Like now that we're talking about stop trading time for money, there's some other people that are kind of leaning into that some.
I've
So,
yeah, I've actually I've kind of caught a couple other places where I'm hearing it. Same.
and it's fine. Like
Yeah, sure.
it's a great cause and all that stuff, but I just kind of noticed that. So Brian Campbell bought a lot. He bought a lot of Gary Coin and a lot of Giraffe, and came in, and what he did that wasn't cool I mean, like, go start your own project, do whatever you want, sell your assets. I don't care. But every day he was posting about how Giraffe were going to go to 10 Solana or 20 Solana or whatever. But he was also selling that pump the whole time. So he was
Right.
in our
Right.
community pumping the bags to our audience instead of going out and, like, if Joe's in here pumping, this is Joe's space. It's not my space. This is Joe's space. I'm a guest here. And if Joe's pumping the bags and selling some Giraffe and making money, that's his thing. It's fine. But when someone is just in our private little Discord just trying to sell to us, and literally, I mean, he was posting these long posts about how Giraffe were going to Tin Sol and how he was going to do this and this and this, and he was buying this land in Tennessee, and every Giraffe was going to have a place to stay, and the whole time he was selling them out the back door. So
Right.
for some reason, I've attracted a good number of grifters like that see it, and I think they just see the opportunity.
Yeah.
They see the math. They say, man, they're doing a lot of volume, and there's money to be made. They don't understand it all. They don't get the why. They just want to try it,
Yeah.
and that's what they do. They try it, and then they realize it's really fucking hard. Like, I mean, Dunk, you tried it. I think you can talk about it. Like, it's really fucking hard to have your own token.
It is, especially when like it was. I'll be perfectly honest. It was even more hard considering that it was tethered to Gary Coin, because there was a confusion there, and people didn't understand that my coin would be affected by Gary Coin, and because we attracted a lot of Web 2 people that couldn't understand the concept of tethering a coin to another coin, and they're like, well, why did the
Right.
price go up? And like they just wouldn't
Right. Right.
understand. So like
Right.
and like when I would talk about how one thing would happen, they couldn't understand how they're connected, or they on that point, there was a lot of people that came into the community that were like me, that launched a coin that didn't understand like how that worked, and then they would
Everyone's just so trained on
yeah,
fiat.
then
They don't
they would
understand token
yeah,
pairs. They
they would
don't yeah,
do
right.
something
Right.
that
Yeah.
would they would rug their own community, but you know what?
Yeah.
They also rugged my community. They also
Yeah.
rugged JJ's community. They also rugged Gino's community, and so on. Anybody that had a coin, and they didn't understand that, and that was a big like, like, I'm not saying that I am perfect, but I think that I understand that better than quite a few people that were here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, but like that was one thing. It's like they didn't understand, so they would make moves that they didn't understand how the ripple effect would affect all these other people, right?
Yeah, and it's yeah, exactly. Because the audience that we attracted never went and attracted their own crypto audience.
Yeah, they
So
were
they were
Web 2
fishing in our
marketers.
pond, right? So it was like all these people have Gary Coin. Let's fish in the Gary Coin pond and let's get them to move their Gary Coin over to my
Yeah,
project. And then whenever it dried up and they didn't make any money, they would say, "Well, I got a bunch of my coins for free, so I'm just going to hit the button and dump them
yeah. Like if I had an
and leave
offer, they
everybody
would
else
sell
hanging."
Drive and buy Dunk to get my offer, and then
Yep.
they would sell Dunk to go and get Gino's offer, and it would just be the same. It was the same Gary coin moving around, but no new liquidity coming in.
Right. Because the people who dropped their own tokens never grew their own crypto audiences. So it was basically whatever I grew was fractionalized across every other token in the ecosystem.
Exactly.
And Gary, like
Exactly.
one on my end, and I could tell you this, like one of the issues that I had with that whole thing was, like I was saying, anytime that I would stream and talk about it, one of those other people would do a, a unethical thing that they didn't realize that was, or whether they did or didn't, and then it would cause a crash in mine. They'd be like, "Why did your coin crash?" And I'd be
Well,
like,
and see,
"That was
to
the
me though, that's just market. That's the
yeah."
market, and we everybody has to be a liquidity magnet,
Mm-hmm.
and there has to be a reason to hold the token beyond
Yep.
whatever the other reason is. It's got to be stronger than the other reason.
Yep.
And we fight with that with Gary Coin all the time. There's always a reason why you could choose to sell a little Gary Coin to move it somewhere else. So, but that comes back to, if people hold your token just for what they get and they don't have a why to hold it. And that's what happened with most of our community. Is like, if they were holding Drive or Dunk or whatever, they were my audience. They were just there to get the best deal and stack up more Gary Coin, and they used the Drive and the Dunk in a way to do that. If they were your audience and they cared about what you were offering, so I just look at it just kind of a little different there. It's we didn't attract creators who could learn to talk about liquidity and grow liquidity markets. We attracted creators that would provide a service if people held their coin to our community members.
Yeah,
So
now
we were
and
like
my
a
niche was a
closed
little different at
Disney.
the time too, so I kind of shifted
Yeah,
niches.
we were like a closed Disney, and you were a vendor inside of our
Mhm.
closed Disneyland.
Yep.
Rather than us being at a outdoor shopping center downtown LA, where everybody has to we all benefit from each other, but we also have to bring in our own customers.
Yeah. Right.
And my fault, because that's just what I built. It's just the way it worked, and it is what it is. But I would have definitely built a lot of stuff differently. I shifted my language a lot around that, to where I used to really focus on people helping people build communities. Now I don't. Like, there's zero way that I will help you launch a token or build a community or anything like that. I'm exclusively focused on this, because I just watched it happen. I watch people say, "Oh,
This is
I'll
better,
launch my own
Gary.
community."
This is better.
Yeah, I know it's better. Some of the creators, Dunk, you, JJ, some of you are going to hit the button you need to, and rug your communities in a smart way. Because if not, then your holders are going to keep dumping on you as Gary keeps pumping, and you're going to end up with none of your original liquidity, where you may choose to hold it in Gary coin and say, I'm going to sell my Dunk or my parent and move it to Gary coin, and just hold it in Gary coin. And I know that is what it is, but some of you probably need to make that decision if you don't plan on growing your own tokens.
My coin is kind of idle, and like I have there's liquidity in there, but I'm not like I'm the amount that's there is there for people that I don't rug them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and
Like
that's fine.
it's not
It,
an insane amount that's there, but I want to make sure that if somebody else wants to hit the sell, but I may go back, you never know. But
yep.
but I'm just saying, if somebody wants to, power to you, go for it. If you don't, I may go back to it, but there is some liquidity there. There is, and it's like you said, it's something that's there, and it's a place that you can lock up. There's a place that's where some Gary dust will always live, you know.
Yeah, and that's like, I've watched a couple people in Gino's community, as Gary coins pump, they've sold Drive, because
Oh, right.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
pumped. So
Yeah.
they sold Drive, and then they sold their Gary coin, and then they took the gains,
Hmm.
because I think like one Drive might be like worth 3 Gary coin.
Yeah, because the bonding curve
So
was
right.
pretty extreme on his.
Yeah, and whenever that happens, that's great. It happened, but it sucks for the person who founded the coin, like Gino, because then at the end of the day, you're stuck with a bunch of Drive coin with no liquidity under them. Where if you get stuck with a bunch of Gary coin, there's a big depth of liquidity there. So it's just a decision. And I've learned that it's not my decision to make, but it is my place to let people know that that's how the market works, and
Hmm.
if that's what they choose to do, that's their choice.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I never want to rug anybody. That's why I've always left liquidity there. I think that I've got enough opportunities that I've gotten that I could leave that there for people that, may
Yeah,
want to
and I
sell.
think that's amazing. I think you're in that position. I heard you say that earlier today or yesterday, that you think that you've gotten the value out of what you've put in here, your
Well,
investment. You
yeah.
think you've got the
It,
return from that, whether it's in personal development or business coaching,
hmm.
or appreciation in assets, or whatever it is. You feel, and that's all that really matters, is
Hmm.
whatever you invest, you feel that you got your value back for what you invested.
Yeah, and I've said it before. Like, part of the reason why I've stuck around, people want to, like, why I've been here for 4 years, is because I know there's things that come. Like, I know how business works, and like the fact that people are crazy about something not becoming a huge business in 4 years in Web3 is like, come on, guys. Like, but I see what you're building, and there's one person that I know that you'll never give up on, Gary. And that's you, right? You're never going to give up on yourself, and I saw that in you, and that's the reason why I said, okay, I don't know where this is going to end, but I know Gary's never going to give up on himself. So I'm going to be here supporting him and building alongside what he's building, because I know that that's never going to go away. Like, I knew that you would never just leave us. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, 100%. I won't. Like, I'll
yeah.
never rug. I can never promise you what the value of
Oh,
an
yeah,
asset's
yeah.
going to be, but what I can tell you is, if anybody's ever around me, I'm going to tell them to buy a giraffe.
Yeah.
And I'm not selling any giraffes, so there's only one person they can buy them off of, and that's you.
Yeah. And I'm not really like, I've
So,
sold a handful. I bought more draft since the mint, then I have sold, and I've
Yeah.
sold very few in 4 years. You know that, like barely any.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think it's amazing when you want to sell one. And
I
to
know.
me, it's like, man, if you get to sell it and there's liquidity there, that's the reason why you originally bought it.
Well, I like I'm a patient person, so
Yeah.
I'm willing to wait and delay my gratification for something that's better. And I've looked at this as like I know there is a bit like a buffet at
Hmm.
like that's coming up. Like I know I've known this for 4 years. Like I know there's
Yep.
a buffet. Like I've seen it. I didn't know exactly what the buffet is going to look like. I didn't know we were to reach this point, but I knew there was going to be a buffet. You know?
Yeah, and I'm in the position, thankfully, that I have a quantity of giraffe that if I don't like the price that it's at
Mm-hmm.
and I want to bring someone in, I can gift them a giraffe.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can sell them a giraffe over the counter at a different price point. Because it's my asset and I can do anything I want to with it, just as you can.
Yep.
And that's why I own the assets. And a lot of founders, like if you're in other NFT projects, you really want to figure out what the founder owns and what the founder's building. Because and let me play out the economics of this. If the only way I make money is in royalties off the project, then my incentive is to get you to buy and sell the project. So I'm going to pump and dump my own project to make money. Right? I'm going to create opportunities for the floor to pump because I'll make royalties on the way up, and I'm going to create opportunities for the floor to dump because I will make royalties on the way down. I make $0 in royalties if there are no transactions. So volatility is important in an NFT project. Now, if I own a bunch of assets like I do, then my benefit is not in royalties. My benefit is in appreciated portfolio value. So if I own 100 giraffe and they're worth $1,000 a piece, that's $100,000. If those are worth $10,000 a piece, then I have $1 million worth of giraffe. And that's more valuable to me than having the transaction volume that's there because it'll work itself out anyway. So if you're in other NFT projects, you really want to dig into what the founder owns because I'm the most invested person in Giraffe. Not because of the royalties, but because of the quantity of Giraffe that I own. I'm the most invested person in Gary Coin. Not because I get any money from it, I don't, but because of the quantity of Gary Coin that I've bought and acquired and earned through our reward systems. So you want you want to find a founder that's the most invested that owns, like I own substantially more than everyone else.
Invested in
Substantially more.
owning it without just creating it, buying it, like
Right,
acquiring it.
exactly right. It's not like I said, okay, we're gonna burn down to 25 million, but I'm gonna give myself 5 million of them right now and I'll hold them.
That's
Right.
so rare, by the way. That's Gary. That
It's
was
how I
my
can call
big.
bullshit. It's how I can
y-
call bullshit on everybody else's tokenomics because I didn't
y-
take any.
that is the. I mean, it's why it. It's why I'm here. It's why I'm here doing a space every day because you got your Gary coin and your giraffe the same way I did.
Yep.
You put your money where your beliefs were. So, you didn't just like, oh, I'm going to mint this, I'll allocate 25% to myself. And then, no, you acquired them the same way we all did.
Yeah.
I actually don't know any other project where that is the case. I really don't. If you guys know one, tell me, but I don't, I don't know any.
I
I
don't
do
either. I
not.
mean,
Yeah.
I guess in theory, every pump fund would
Oh,
be that way because they have to buy their tokens at inception.
sure, sure.
But
Yeah,
they're
I guess
buying at the
so.
lowest possible market cap
It's a
where
little different. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't buy them, like I didn't go in and buy Gary Coin the second that it launched. Most of mine, honestly, I earned. And I earned them
Through
by utilizing the
trading or
mining
whatever. Yeah,
mechanics in the system. Most of it
right.
was mining mechanics, or I would charge people. Like I know
Yeah,
Joe, like you charge people to set up like liquidities and earn
exactly.
money from like liquidity pools and stuff. And if somebody said, "Well, I want to do that," and you would look at them, you could say, "Look, I'll set it all up for you for 2 giraffe."
Right.
And
I
if
would
they
actually
send
make
you
that deal. Yeah, I
right, if
would.
they
Yeah,
send you 2 giraffe, you know what you bought, you chose to do it, and now you trade your time for 2 giraffe, which is probably better than trading your time for $2,000
And they had to
to go
exactly.
go
into
and
giraffe.
Yeah.
acquire the draft, so now they know about them.
Yep.
I,
And that's
I
what I did.
I have an interruption. Somebody won ticket number 243, 1,000. Gary, congratulations.
Woo!
Woohoo. 243.
Is
Good
it
job.
somebody with a draft PFP or no?
Oh, that
No, it's just a normal.
I didn't
A
check.
normal
No, it's just
person.
somebody. Yeah, it's just somebody there. It looks like they're entering a bunch of raffles. They've entered 9 raffles. They bought 10 tickets. They won one. They will obviously claim their Gary coin, but they don't have a giraffe or anything in that wallet.
Well, what do you say, guys? You want to give everyone their Sunday back?
That's good for me.
Let's do that. Let everyone get back to church or their family or whatever they got going. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Sorry, Clint. You don't have to
And
go home, Clint, but you can't stay here.
and before you go, we did on the stacker raffle, we did top 50%. So I'll get a stream on in maybe an hour or so in a little bit. And I'll set it up. I'll pick our randoms. I'll put the 10 names on there and I'll stream and pick a winner for 500 Gary coin. So I'll go out
Oh, nice.
if you bought the last ticket in the 1,000 Gary coin raffle, which was Red 5 Alive, if that's you and you're here, I'm going to send you 50 Gary coin for buying the last ticket because that's always my prize. And then beyond that, I'll stream again in maybe an hour or so, and we'll give away some 500 Gary coin because we topped 52% right now.
We just
there's
got 52. Okay.
there's 2,356 tickets remaining. Rab 4 TCT was the first one to get up to 500 tickets.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So now you can get your Sunday
Nice,
back, Joe.
nice.
Thanks for letting me make a little announcement.
Of course. All right, everybody. Hang around for Gary's stream. Remember to later on tonight, Bearded and not Lazy Man, Bearded and Larry are going to have their space, and I believe that
What's
starts
it like?
in 5.5 hours.
So it's 7 o'clock here, or no, 6 o'clock here.
6 o'clock our time.
Okay.
Yeah, so 9 o'clock East Coast time,
Mm.
guys. So stay tuned for that for Bearded space, and they'll just probably smoke weed the whole time. So if you're into that kind
They're
of
probably
thing,
doing it
you
right
should
now, like just getting ready.
probably getting ready for it. Yeah, exactly. So if that's your speed, that's where you should be, guys. All right, I will see everyone tomorrow. I love you guys.
All
Take
right.
care.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.